You ever have one of those days where you're just trying to change your oil, simple, honest work, and out of nowhere, the universe decides to slap you upside the head with a drama bomb? Yeah, that was me. There I was, hands covered in grease, when this ear-splitting screech rips through the February air, tires losing their last argument with a patch of Minnesota ice. And before I could even mutter a curse, there's a crunch, metal on wood, the kind of sound that tells you somebody's insurance premium just tripled. I step outside, rag in hand, and what do I see? My brand new mailbox, custom, solid oak post and all, being hugged by the front end of a silver BMW. And who steps out? Patricia Morrison, HOA president, queen of Cedar Ridge, walking calamity in a cream wool coat that could probably pay off my student loans. Her hair, blonde, immovable, immune to wind, physics, and apparently logic. Her face already in that signature, somebody's gonna pay scowl. Yates Jefferson, she shrieks, boots clacking down my driveway like she's charging the Bastille. Look what your negligence has done to my car. Now, I glance at the crime scene. Mailbox versus BMW. There's a scratch on her bumper, barely worth a mention unless you collect tiny car wounds as a hobby. I crouch, take a peek at her tires, smooth as a cue ball. Patricia, sweetheart, your tires are bald. She doesn't miss a beat, jabbing a finger at my driveway. You didn't salt. You didn't sand. My car lost control because you failed to maintain winter conditions. Lady, it's my private driveway. No law says I have to salt every square inch every time we get a dusting. You want to use it, you take your chances, especially when there's a main entrance a quarter-mile down, gates, pillars, the whole deal. She just huffs. I was taking a shortcut. Now look at my car. The bumper's ruined. The tires, Yates, I felt them slip. They're probably destroyed. Patricia, those tires were running on hope and a prayer before you ever saw my driveway. But does she listen? Of course not. She's taking pictures, muttering about evidence, and promising the HOA will make me pay. She's got her phone out, snapping shots of everything but the real culprit, her own neglect. Thing is, this isn't new. Last year, Patricia tried to fine me for painting my garage door blue instead of the sacred HOA beige. My lawyer shot her down. My garage wasn't even visible from the street. She'd been gunning for me ever since, waiting for another chance to play sheriff in a town where nobody asked for one. She calls an emergency meeting. Next night, I show up at the community center, a drafty old barn that smells like wet socks and disappointment. The room is packed. Patricia's up front with her vice president, Linda, and George, our treasurer, who's the only one with both a brain and a backbone. My neighbor Ron nods me over. He's got the look of a man who knows things are about to get entertaining. Patricia starts banging her brand new gavel. Of course she bought herself a gavel, claiming there's a serious safety issue. She lays out her case, gesturing at me like I'm a defendant on Judge Judy. My failure to salt the driveway endangered her, left her traumatized, cost her $2,000 in repairs. She says her tires, her bald, slick-as-glass tires, were damaged by the stress. I try to keep a straight face. Patricia, you were doing 10 miles an hour, and there's a scratch on your bumper. Those tires were shot months ago. She pulls out a mechanic's note. It's an invoice for new tires. George, bless him, points out there's nothing about the tires being damaged in a driveway apocalypse. She gets flustered, doubles down, says she's taking me to small claims court if the HOA won't back her. Meeting devolves into chaos. Neighbors start piping up. Ron says he's seen Patricia's car around with those same bald tires for months. Susan, another neighbor, even reminds everyone she warned Patricia at a barbecue. Patricia denies it, claims we're all conspiring. Finally, she storms out, vowing revenge. My wife Clara, who has more sense in her pinky than the whole HOA board put together, tells me to lawyer up. She's not going to play fair. You need someone who knows the game. So I call Marcus Webb, local attorney, sharp as a tack, calm as a Minnesota lake in December. He hears the story and actually grins. This is going to be fun, he says. He tells me to gather evidence, get statements, take photos. Weeks go by. I file a counterclaim for my poor mailbox, $50 just to make a point. Come court day, the judge, a no-nonsense woman named Rebecca Thornton, takes one look at Patricia's evidence, then at the written statements from my neighbors, and you can see where this is going. The judge calls Patricia's case frivolous, awards me $50 for the mailbox, and dismisses everything else. Patricia goes pale, then red, and the court moves on. Marcus is grinning like he just won the lottery. But Patricia's not done. Nope. A few days later, I get a letter. Official HOA letterhead, Patricia's signature. She's levying a special assessment against me. $3,000 for private road safety improvements. I call Marcus, who's already shaking his head. No notice of a vote, no proper procedure. He sends a letter that basically says, "Try it, and we'll sue you into next week." The HOA folds. Then come the petty violation notices: grass too long, garbage cans out past pickup, my truck parked unsightly in my own driveway. Everyone gets sent to Marcus, who responds in legalese that translates to "cut it out." Eventually, Marcus suggests we file for a restraining order. Enough is enough. Around then, my mailbox gets torn out, chain, tire tracks, the works. The deputy who comes to investigate is Patricia's ex-husband, Frank. He's professional, but even he can't hide his suspicion. "Might want to get cameras," he says. I do. Best decision I ever made. A few nights later, those cameras catch Patricia herself, pouring lighter fluid on my temporary mailbox and trying to light it up like a 4th of July barbecue. I catch her in the act, call the cops, show them the footage. Patricia peels out, but she can't outrun video evidence. Next morning, Marcus calls. She's going to be arrested. This is serious, Yates. Arson isn't a joke. Patricia gets arrested, mugshot and all, makes the local news. HOA holds another emergency meeting. This time, they vote to remove her. Ron becomes president, promising actual transparency and an end to the reign of terror. Patricia's financial records come under scrutiny. Turns out, she'd been embezzling HOA funds to pay for her car and country club membership. The board sues, the DA charges her. When the criminal trial comes, the jury takes less than 2 hours to find her guilty of attempted arson and mischief. The judge gives her 18 months in jail, 2 years probation, bans her from HOA positions for a decade, and orders restitution. When it's over, life feels lighter. Ron pays my legal fees with the money they clawed back from Patricia. The neighborhood has a barbecue, burgers, beer, no mention of lawsuits or HOAs. Cedar Ridge starts feeling like a real community again, not a petty dictatorship. My mailbox stands tall, literally and figuratively, and my driveway is mine again. Looking back, I realize the real lesson didn't smack me in the face until it was all over. People like Patricia, they only have power because we let them. You give an inch, they take a mile. But when you stand up, when you say no more, when you push back, even if it's just over a stupid mailbox, suddenly the spell breaks. The bully shrinks, and the whole community remembers how to breathe. Sure, it cost me time, money, and a mountain of stress, but it was worth it. Cedar Ridge got better. Neighbors started looking out for each other, not policing each other. The new HOA president focused on what mattered, fixing potholes, not picking fights. We got rid of the gavel. Nobody missed it. Years later, Patricia's sister shows up, wants to apologize. Says Patricia moved to Nevada, family tried to help her, but you can't help someone who won't help themselves. She wishes things had gone differently. So do I, in a way. But sometimes you need a drama queen to blow things up before the dust can settle into something better. As I write this, the tomatoes are coming in. Ron's still president. Clara's assistant principal at the high school. The community garden is thriving, and my driveway, still unsalted, still very much mine, remains the stuff of local legend. Sometimes I wonder, where's the line between standing up for yourself and letting things slide for the sake of peace? When does a small fight become the big one you have to win? Did Patricia ever really understand what she lost, or did she just move on to another kingdom to rule? And if you've ever dealt with your own Patricia, did you stand your ground, or did you let her win? I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment. Tell me where you draw the line between standing up and letting it go. Because if there's one thing this whole mess taught me, it's that the little guy only wins when he decides not to lose. And sometimes that's all the justice you really need.